Hello, my lovely creatives. It's Casey. I just wanted to check in and let you know where I'm at. I'm still not doing anything in my art journals. I just really haven't felt like it. I've spent a lot of time being exhausted. The October slide really is not fun. I have been working on art, just not my art journal. So I decided today I was going to show you the things that I've been working on and just kind of catch you all up. So let's just dig in. We're gonna start with the most recent and kind of work back here. I've been doing a lot of little pieces like this. This is watercolor, and then I did ink over the top in the foreground, and I've really been playing a lot with adding black and white elements to my pictures, and I like it a lot, and I really like the whimsical marks that I've made on the wings. I just finished this one yesterday, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. The watercolor is a lot of layering where I start with the lightest colors, and then I go around the shapes, and I went, you know, darker and darker. So that was fun. This one is one of my favorites. I really like it a lot. This is all ink in the background and then acrylic in the foreground. And I've been working on doing kind of a looser style with everything, and I'm really liking it a lot. I have a tendency to get lost in details, and doing it this way, I don't get lost in the details at all, and I still convey what I want to convey, and I love this one personally. This one was kind of an experiment. This is all watercolor in the background, and then ink where the black is. And then I did the trees, and I did it in kind of this looser style here, but it just didn't look finished. So I took some scrapbook paper and I tore that up and I glued that over the top. And I added some dots in here because, as you can see, I like to do dots and circles in everything that I do. So that one turned out all right. A lot of people, a lot of my friends, like, really liked this one. I think because of the colors. This is a watercolor. I had gone to the, what do you call it? It's in Minnesota. Let me look it up here for a minute, because my brain doesn't work and remember things. Here we go. International Owl Center in Minnesota. And I was doing some sketching there, and I did one of the owls, and I just felt like adding this, you know, night sky in the owl, and it was really fun, and I liked it, so I decided to make a bigger piece. And I don't like it as much as I like the smaller one, but it was a really interesting process. This is all ink in the background with my black and white elements, and I love that. I love the concept. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's the face that's bothering me. But it's all right. I like how the branch turned out with the watercolor. It was very interesting. And I don't know if you can really see this, but these two leaves, these three leaves here, are kind of 3D. I did, like, I don't know if you can see that. I cut these out. I did them on separate paper, and I cut them out, and then I used foam tape, which is this double stick foam tape, to put them on the top. And it's really subtle, but for some reason, like, you don't know why your eye is drawn up here, but it is, and that helps move your eye around the page. It turned out really cool. Again, I don't like I think it's the face that is bothering me. Why I don't love it. If I cover the face, then I love it. What, kitty? Oh my goodness, did you hear that? Okay, this is another watercolor in ink, and I've got some metal leaf in here, which is, it's artificial gold leaf. Just because, you know, I have to have my dots, and it adds some sparkle, and I really like it. And I love how this turned out. I like the bugs, how they turned out. A little bit of realism, a little bit of whimsy, and again with the layering with the watercolor in the background. And yeah, I like this a lot. I played for a while with these borders, which you'll see. Here's another one. And this has like a shimmery acrylic in it, so it's got a little bit of shimmer. And there's my dots. Have to have dots. This is fun. It was really soothing, actually, doing all of this ink work around the edges. And I like that you can tell that they're flowers, but they're really kind of abstract and they fade into the background. This was the first painting I did like that, where I did a shape and then, you know, did more shapes and went around the shapes and did like layered negative space watercolor. And then I did the foam over the top. And then I added, this is more stuff added with foam tape to make it stick out. And I had to put my dots, so I put some bubbles in here. I really like this one. I thought it turned out pretty cool. I'm a little bit iffy on these parts. I like the idea. I'm not sure I like the execution. I did them in colored pencil. And I think if I'd done them in watercolor, they might have turned out a little better. I can always peel them off and put new ones on, I suppose, but for right now, I just feel like it's done. I'm leaving it. So then I took a couple of online classes. I took a acrylic one, and that's where I learned how to do the like loose painting style. And of course I had to add my own touch because I can't strictly copy what somebody else does. So I put the black and white element in here, and then I added, this also has foam tape. So I added the words on there. And then this was the other one, which I really love this one. I added the flowers. And it was such a pain to paint around the flowers, but it turned out so good. It was really worth it. And of course I added dots because, you know, have to. And the second class I took was it was technically a mixed media, but it was watercolor. And this has the metal leaf, and that's where I learned to use the metal leaf. And I found out, by the way, if you use a metal leaf instead of a gold leaf, which, you know, gold leaf is really expensive and metal leaf is really cheap. So if you use a metal leaf, you need to seal it. Otherwise, it's gonna tarnish and get like a patina on it because a lot of it is copper. So you need a sealer to go over your gold, your fake gold. So, little tip there. This was so neat. It was a lot of fun. It took forever. And this was the warm-up piece to that, was just an abstract. And so that was fun. I really like how my pieces turned out. I'm doing some really interesting things. Again, not art journaling, but I did purchase these journals off of Amazon. Well, there were 4 of them. I gave one of them away because all of the pages on the inside are exactly the same between all the journals, and I don't really need to do 4 of them. But there are, you know, all kinds of different things in here, and they're just vintage journals, which is really cool. And I thought I would use them. I knew I wouldn't be able to use them for art specifically because, you know, it's just regular paper, and you know, trying to paint on that would be a disaster. Even trying to gesso these, I think, would be a disaster. I think they would warp really bad. So I decided I was going to use it as like an ink and collage kind of thing. So I have a bunch of like vintage. So I have this ephemera book, which is a lot of vintage stickers, and there's some papers in the back. But I don't really use a lot of vintage stuff in my artwork. I like vintage stuff, it's just not, I don't know, not the style I use for my art. But I wanted to experiment with it anyway, and I thought this journal would be perfect for that. So I started, this is the first collage that I've made. This is the only collage I've made so far. I have a lot to learn about layering things and composition and whatever, but that's what this journal is for, is to experiment with all that. So it's really not bad. I think it turned out all right. And it's got some really interesting textures in here. You know, all kinds of weird odds and ends that I collect, you know, to use someday I can use in here. I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of a, like a tool. I'm not sure how well you can see that and fold it. It's a little bit shimmery, which I thought, you know, added something, but it's, once I glued it down, it was really, became very flat. It's hard to see the shimmer. I didn't use a matte medium, I used Mod Podge, so I thought it would show up a little better, but it didn't. And then it was really hard to glue stuff on top of it. So we're not going to do that again, but that's, again, what journals are for, is for experimentation. And we learn things, so yeah, this isn't terrible. I have to say, for my first attempt, I kind of like it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes and using all kinds of different weird materials. And yeah, so technically art journaling, just not the same art journal that it was before. So this one I really haven't touched. I haven't felt like it. I've had a color card sitting out here for ages and just haven't been inspired. So I'm putting that aside and I'll come back to it whenever I feel the need to. Until then, I just work on all my other fun things here. And so I'll check back in once in a while, let you know what I'm working on. And I hope this inspired you to get creative today. And have a good one. I'll see you next time.